So are you ready to see Editor Sensei? We are. This is the OSMcast. Hi folks, this is the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. I'm Basil.
And I'm Douglas.
I'm Kevin.
And that's us. We're back again, updating on time again. For once. No. Based off when I last uploaded the last episode we recorded.
Okay.
When this episode goes up, it'll be on time.
Yay!
We are back on the horse officially.
After illness and conventions and...
Illness, conventions, Japan, oh my!
Yeah.
And heck, some of us even just got back from another convention. It was just a one-day convention. But at HamaCon, everyone should have went. It was pretty awesome. We even did a panel where people had to act like they were me because it was an Ask Character panel. I was the character.
I can't believe I lost.
Only by a point.
I'm still reeling in the fact that I lost.
You were so much a better Basil than Lauren.
Well, Lauren gave up halfway through. Like, if she had come at this with her full heart, she would have been an awesome Basil, too.
No, I feel that she came at it with almost as much heart as many people in Ask Character panels.
And that would be why we did this panel. Because we kind of hate Ask a Character panels. Like, the panel was so meta, Basil. It was just so meta on so many levels.
It's true. Next year we're going to call it Basiloid panel.
You know, that honestly just makes me picture you with, like, twin tails, Basil.
I know.
I'll have to dye my hair black and wear pigtails and be pigtail Basil.
Well, that's because you apparently hate wigs, or at least really terrible, crappy wigs I order off Amazon.
I couldn't get it on my head. Like, I could not get it to stay on my head.
Like, admittedly, I was kind of going for the crappier the better.
Yeah. And
I was going for the cheapest thing I get from 2-day shipping via Amazon.
Yeah.
Because I waited too long to order anything. But, you know, it all worked out. People had a good time. I now know exactly what I look like when I'm playing 3DS. That was useful. And was surprised at how well people actually know me. And sometimes didn't know me.
Well, what was I know you say it's surprising seeing how well people knew you, but really, what was it like to have three people who theoretically like you a lot get up there and imitate you? Like, I knew that I would personally hate that, but how did you feel about it?
I found it very humorous. I found it very enlightening.
How so?
Well, again, like, you know, I'm like, oh, yeah, that is kind of what the kind of answer I would sort of give. Yeah, not exactly. That's pretty close. Or sometimes like, oh no, that's my answer. That's exactly my answer.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there were some mannerisms and some ways of framing things and stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it was interesting. And in the end, it showed me that people don't see me in a bad light, which is...
Oh no, people love you. People
always good. Speaking of good, the mini-con went great, went wonderfully. Possibly our smoothest mini-con yet. No problems, that was fun. We all had good times. I got to show Sega Hard Girls during the Pain Train, which was a plus. You need to watch that, Kevin. You need to watch yourself some Sega Hard Girls. You really do.
Probably. Some ways I don't know why it's you who's trying to tell me to watch the show, because back in the day I was a big Sega fan.
Yeah, it's right. I'm the big Nintendo fan. I was actually thought Sega was a bunch of bull crap.
It still kind of is.
And
Sometimes it is.
Sonic Boom. Man, poor Sonic Boom. It's a bug-filled terrible mess where you can just jump everywhere as Knuckles. Like, no, seriously, the game's broken. Like, when you place Knuckles, when you jump, you can pause. There's a bug where you pause, Knuckles thinks he's on the ground again. You unpause, you can jump again. you can have infinite jumping.
Yeah, that breaks the game.
Well, yeah,
That's never good in a platformer.
The game is broken. But what's not broken is the OSMcast. Podcast for everything awesome, where you can find us at OSMcast.com. Leave us comments. Check out our Index of Awesome. Download other podcasts. Share it with your friends. You can also totally plug us into your RSS feeder of choice. You can manually add us to iTunes, but you can find us on Stitcher. And download us. Let's just share us with your friends. It'd be really nice to get more people listening because we're a podcast, theoretically. We want people to listen to us, which is why we're releasing audio files into the internet. Or the Aether, if we're in Final Fantasy XIV.
Or
which
Gunbuster.
we are not, or Gunbuster, which we are not yet.
Not yet.
Not until that freak electrical storm which transports us into the game.
Or I'd accept Final Fantasy.
I'd accept a Log Horizon type scenario.
Well, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping more for a Log Horizon than a Sword Art scenario.
Man, I would love if the Log Horizon scenario happened to me in Final Fantasy XIV. That would be amazing.
But, be that as it may, you can also send us emails at awesomecast@gmail.com. You can leave us comments on our various pages. You can follow us on Twitter at AwesomeCast, Tumblr, AwesomeCast, Facebook, AwesomeCast. You can also find me on Twitter at It's Basil Time, and you can find Kevin at Twitless_Kevin.
Where I sometimes even post something.
Yes.
Or just retweet Thomas Romaine because he posts a picture of a robot.
Also good. So, but while that is things that you can do, and I've got cat blood in my face, it's time for your Final Fantasy XIV Reborn Minute!
So what are we talking about this time?
We are frickin' face deep into some Shiva action.
Oh.
Here in Dreams of Ice, the latest patch to hit. Because when we last recorded, the patch had not yet hit.
Oh, I see.
And we recorded talking about how this patch is going to hit. But the patch has now officially hit. New dungeons, new Hildebrand storylines, new storylines, a new class, a new job, rogue, ninja, ice, baby. It's everything you wanted it to be.
You're going to have to pick a subject and tell me to talk about it because there is too much with this patch that I can just go on about.
I know. I like being a ninja.
Like I think we may need to really save the rogue ninja talk for when we finally get to our Gundam Build Fighters episode. So I think Kevin and I have played the most of the three of us. Maybe you've gotten past level like 22 or 23. As a
Oh, no, I haven't. I do have commentary to make about Rogue and Ninja already. As somebody who is not playing a Rogue or a Ninja, but is kind of seeing the Rogue and Ninja phenomenon happen, I have made the observation that it seems like two Rogues cannot settle on the same target.
Nope.
Like, I don't know what it is, but if there are two ninjas in the group, they will pick two independent targets.
Yep.
And DPS race those down, like...
Yeah, if the tank doesn't mark somebody, I will just go who I think is best. And if there's another rogue, they'll obviously think another monster is best.
Yeah.
Every time.
And that's a problem.
If I catch it, I usually switch the other monster because the other rogue usually won't.
Also, no other class seems to have as big of a problem getting out of the range of my healing as a ninja. And I don't even know why. I can't even explain that one, because, like, theoretically they would be in kind of the same position as either a Lancer or a Monk, but I never have this problem with Lancers or Monks. So I don't know why ninjas specifically seem to go out of range of my heals so much.
I don't know, we're fast, flighty little bastards. In fact, they literally have a movement speed bonus after a certain level, so they technically run a little faster than everyone else.
But we'll get into that in a later date because, we've got to talk about something 14 related when Doug isn't here. So, things that Doug can also talk about while we're here, let's talk about dungeons.
Oh my gosh, I love all the new dungeons. Like, all 3 dungeons they add, I love in their own specific way. Some more than others. But I love them in their own specific way.
I definitely think that the new Sunken Temple is my least favorite, but that's saying, like, I dislike it, and I don't. I like the new Sunken Temple a lot. I feel it has much more of an Indiana Jones flair. Mm-hmm. I really feel like I'm actually trying to excavate a tomb, and crazy things are happening. Mm-hmm. I actually think it's a better designed dungeon than the last version of Sunken Temple.
Yeah.
With better, more fun bosses. What is your least favorite dungeon?
I'm actually going to have to agree that my least favorite is probably Sunken Temple of Quaron. You know, mostly for the same reasons. Compared to the other two, visually, it's less stunning. You know, which isn't to say that it's not pretty. It is pretty, but the other two are just so beautiful that this one feels a little dull and brown by comparison. It's also the boss fights and the boss fights and the mob fights up to the bosses seem to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like they're a little bit more obnoxious. Like, there's just no other way to put it. It's not that they're more gimmicky, because Snowcloak has the more gimmicky fights. Right. It's not that they're as big a specific check as they are in, because Satasha Hard has the bigger checks. Right. So really, like, it just seems like it just, in all these areas, it just kind of ends up to be the most bland of the new ones. Yeah, I would agree with that. I really do like the graphical effect of the lasers shooting into the center thing that unlocks the thing to get to the final boss. Yeah, that was pretty nice. And I do think, in the end, even though it's the simplest to understand of the three final bosses, the final boss is actually where it loses me, because of those damn mummies. Well, yeah, even though it's the most simplest one to explain to people how to play, it is the hardest one to enact. Yes. Like, everybody, their first time through is going to get turned into a mummy. Like, I don't care how elite you think you are, it's just going to take a little bit of effort to learn how to dodge the mummies. And many times you won't dodge out mummies, even when you're trying. Okay, so here's what happens. You're fighting this guy, and he's this big dude with some big honking swords, and he's out to kill you. And through the fight, there are rows of mummies that'll pop up and run in a straight line towards its opposite direction. Mm-hmm. And it's usually like if you think of a line of like 6 mummies, and they pop up in their little coffins and they run past you. And if you touch a mummy, you get a debuff. If you get 5, you turn to a mummy. It's 4. Is it 4? It's 4. 4, you get the debuff. Your debuff goes away, but you turn to a mummy, and then you run across the stage yourself. And while you're running across the stage, you're running at a diagonal angle, and you can, in fact, hit the other members and give them the debuff. It's a big old scramble. And sometimes the boss will also throw beams of light from his swords, mm-hmm. and those can also give you the mummy debuff. Yes. And so there's a lot of stuff to dodge, and sometimes you'll think you're in a good spot, and the mummies will just spawn on top of you. Yeah. Because if you don't stay in the center area, that will eventually happen. But if you stay in the center area, it's harder for you to see around you where the mummies are going to spawn. Mm-hmm. And so it's a balancing act and a little bit of luck. And the fight's overall kind of simple, but it's but it's not. It's in my opinion, it's of the final. It's not actually the most annoying of the final boss fights. Actually, Satasha has, in my opinion, the most annoying of the final boss fights. Oh, I think it has the easiest of the final boss fights. I hate the final boss fight of Satasha. The final boss of Satasha is the Kraken. It comes back again after you fight it in Hullbreaker Island. It will come back and fight you in Satasha Hard. Only this time, it will rise up it constantly is regenerating its arms, and it will rise up its arms against you unless you cut them off fast enough. It's very representative of the Kraken's tentacle monster type character. I believe it was Final Fantasy IV. Mm-hmm. In one of the caves where you had to attack all the tentacles and attack the head. Yeah. It's the same thing in this one. And Hullbreaker, you just had to attack the arms and tentacles, mm-hmm. and it went away. This one, you actually had to fight the Kraken itself
but the arms and tentacles are back. And the trick is that the tentacles this time are actually a red herring.
Yeah.
You don't even want to deal with them. They're just annoying. What you want to kill are the arms. Mm-hmm. And the nice thing about this battle is that if you can knock out all the arms, then the boss can't do its big attack. Mm-hmm. And if the team knows what they're doing, it's not that hard to take out the arms.
I have never actually been in a team that did it the first time.
See, I do it in one go, like, all the time now.
Well, maybe it's changed now, because admittedly I haven't done it in a week. My roulette always turns up one of the other two, which is just fine by me. But all the same, it just keeps... I never was able to get through just one through, because even if it was a good group, even if we were a good group running through, something would happen and like, everybody would disperse to the 4 winds.
It's possible. Of course, I also think at this point, I may actually be good enough to take out the tentacles by myself.
Yeah.
Because I know that I play a summoner, and we have this ability where once we get 3 main dots, mm-hmm. and there's an ability called Fester, which I can use with these stacks of ether flow that I can take. And if I do an ether flow, I get 3 stacks that I can spend until I can get another stack on me. And if I get 3 dots on a tentacle arm, Kraken mm-hmm. arm, and I fester it, it'll die in 3 seconds from the rest of my dots.
Yeah.
And as long as I have that full stack on me, because in the first couple of battles with the arms, there's only 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And so all I have to do is go ... fester. It's going to die. I can run into the second one. ... fester. I've actually had issues with other DPS killing it faster than I can get my stuff on.
Yeah.
And if they just go to attack the other thing, it would have died even faster.
Yeah.
And even, like, the other thing is that people don't understand that there is, in fact, one... and this is where I think actually trips at most people nowadays. Mm-hmm. There is a phase that you don't want to attack anything at all.
Yeah.
There is a phase where it's all arms, no tentacles. It's what I refer to as the wallop stage, where all the do is tentacles are attacking everyone like crazy for like 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. And you just have to dodge and heal through that. And the real trick is to actually hide between the Kraken and one of the arms, kill that one arm, and just stay there.
Yeah. The trick being just stay there, because the problem I have as a healer, like I said, is everybody scattering to the 4 winds, because the stage for the Kraken is pretty huge, and if you've scattered all across the stage, I have to run everywhere to get to you, and so if somebody starts dying in the left corner, while somebody else is getting walloped in the right corner, like, I have to make that...
It is true. You do have to, especially in the wallop phase, you have to all stay together. Mm-hmm. Like, and that is the hardest part of it. But the dungeon itself is really
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It takes place in the sea cavern, and the first sea cavern it just felt like it was a bunch of caves.
Yeah. With
water here and there.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you actually get to, and like all RPGs, you get to drain the water so it reveals a lower level.
And that's. I think we fell in love with that dungeon at that point when that happened. Because
suddenly everything is like super blue
yes.
and shiny, and
it was just great.
And it's also, I feel, the honest to God hardest, mm-hmm. or it's designed to be the hardest of the 3 dungeons, because the first boss battle is this giant scorpion-like thing,
and it's a straight up healer check. We did that the day of the patch. And yeah. That's the first thing that came out of my mouth after we downed the boss. I was just like, and this is a healer check.
Well, it is, because it'll cast a dot and knock you down to 1 HP.
Yes.
So if the healer is not on their toes to immediately heal you, as soon as you get hit by 1 HP, you're dead.
Yep.
And just last night, as we were recording, I was with our wonderful editor. We were playing, and Doug was busy, something about role playing and getting characters' emotions out.
Yeah, that's right.
Or some such things that
I was role playing, dude.
Meant I wasn't going to get my proper heals. And a friend of ours went, well, I haven't slept in 36 hours, but I'll go heal you. And they couldn't heal because they hadn't slept in 36 hours. So we're like, go to bed. We'll get another healer.
Well, it's a different kind of healer check than Cypress Tower was a healer check. Cypress Tower was kind of a raw power healer check. Is your healer geared enough to heal everybody to full at a whim? And at the time when I was crying miserably over that, I was not. I am now. But the reason this is a healer check is because it knocks it down to 1 HP. But it's more of a question of, can your healer manage? Can your healer deal with it? Can you get the debuff off in time? Can you get the debuff off in time to make sure that everybody is going to automatically be regenerating health? You know, it's more of a question of, can your healer deal with a crisis? But it's going to throw you some crises.
But to finish my story, our healer left to go get some sleep, and we immediately got a new healer because we still had a tank, so the healer jumped straight in. And he gets down there, he looks at the boss and goes, guys, I don't think I can do this. This boss is terrible to healers. I don't know if I can handle it. And that's been the general opinion. I've talked to people like, healers hate that boss. Healers, they can't stand that first boss, and that boss is, in fact, what we refer to as a healer check. And after you get through that, you actually have to go through a couple of DPS checks.
Yep.
The first two are these sets of, they're siren-like, mermaid-like creatures. And there's brine that comes in, I think it's courtesan and winches. I think is what they are.
Yeah.
And there's two of one and one of the other. And the one in the middle there's only one of it, and there's this brine that comes and heals everything. And I've seen two different ways to attack the situation. Mm-hmm. The first is to burn down the one in the middle, then the brine goes away so you can take care of the other two.
Yeah.
The other way is you ignore the middle one at first, and you actually pull the ones to the side, because they'll run away.
Yeah.
The one in the middle will stay in the middle, the other two will not.
Yeah.
And the tank will pull them away into a corner, away from the brine. You'll burn them down, then burn down the middle. I've discovered the easiest way, at least for me, is to do tactic A, burn down the one in the middle, because I usually also self-dots in the other two as well.
Yeah.
Also, my AoE attack that I do is an area of effect spell.
Yes.
It sticks around, and that'll kill all the brine before it even gets to them.
Yeah. I typically, the way I handle that fight is I switch into cleric stance, and I run into the center and just start holying to death. You know, I make sure that you guys have got, Medica 2 up, and the tank has even got a refresh going, and then I run in and holy it down. That seems to work pretty well.
And then the second DPS check is actually the second boss fight, gets Captain Madison and his cronies.
Oh my god.
And man, I've got that freaking fight down to a science.
Which is so funny, because the first time we beat it, we got through the fight, we beat it, and we immediately all looked around at each other and said, we have no idea how we just won that.
It's true, we didn't. We had no idea. And then and mostly it was because it was, occasionally, Captain Madison will target somebody, and he'll just wail on them with his guns until something happened. It turns out that something happened was you had to deal with enough damage to him.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that he constantly calls in cronies. And near the very final of it, the captain actually runs away and throws in a whole bunch of cronies. To which I usually go, yeah, okay, I'm going to limit break now. Which my limit break's a giant AoE attack that kills everything around me, which is great for mobs.
Yes.
And so they all die. Oh, we're done. Let's keep going. So, yeah, it's a good time. And next time we actually have the full three of us, we'll probably talk some Snowcloak, because we've already been talking for a while.
Oh, but I want to talk about Snowcloak.
We'll get to Snowcloak, but we got...
Snowcloak's the prettiest of them.
I've actually been to none of these dungeons, so I have nothing to contribute to any of these.
So we'll take a break, and we'll be back with Moments of Awesome. This is the OSMcast. Alright, and we're back. This is the OSMcast, and that was your Final Fantasy XIV Reborn Minute! And we're back. This is the OSMcast.
It's Dragon Ball Z time!
Da, 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 da. 4 minutes till Namek explodes.
Alright, so there we go. Talk about Final Fantasy XIV for precisely 1 Namekian minute. Next up is, well, there's no new Dragon Quest news. So next up, a brand new segment. Moments of Confliction.
It's a moment of confliction?
Things that I think theoretically should be awesome, but I don't really think it's an FU, but I still kind of want to talk about it. Moments of Confliction. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted about Assassin's Creed Unity. That is a conflicting game. See, normally, I'm a gigantic-ass Assassin's Creed fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
As am I.
Like, I can't get enough of Assassin's Creed. But Unity, I kind of am waffling on it. I'm not sure what, well, I'm kind of sure why at this point. But, so, one of the biggest things I really like about Assassin's Creed is its crazy-ass, like, weird, frickin' Da Vinci Code level crazy, stupid conspiracy theories everywhere. And I love how it's in the past and also in the present, and how the two are always intermingling, and they kind of leave the future, this present stuff kind of to the side. And that's sad, like, because you open the game up and you boot the game, and it boots into, now we're in the Helix. It's no longer the Animus, it's just powered by the Animus. Now it's the Helix. And you're just someone playing this Abstergo product, and first they gave me this menu, and I'm like, alright, I can't do anything else. And I didn't quite understand at first that it was supposed to be I was buying into this Helix thing. And that's why I had bought was Assassin's Creed Helix. Or this new Helix program, that's what I was playing, and I was choosing a scenario from the various options, which were actually all the previous games, and a couple of hints of what could be in the game. And you choose it, and you play some, and within the first few moments of the game, I had gotten myself lost. Apparently, you go straight, and you can actually turn to the right to the room where they want you to go, or you can jump out a window.
And you jumped out a window.
And I jumped out a window because that looked cooler. And then I was walking around in the area immediately outside of the window, which you can totally do, and had no clue where I was supposed to go. And I thought, well, maybe I'm supposed to climb. No, I'm not supposed to climb. Maybe I'm supposed to go over here. No, that would desync me. Maybe I'll go over here. I bet I was supposed to go out that window. So it took me a while to actually get back to the point where I was, and then go into the window, turn around, get stuck on scenery,
yeah,
and eventually start at the actual game where the assassins go, whoa, you don't want to actually play this. You're playing this in it. You're actually playing in revolutionary France. And so that's how I started my Assassin's Creed, being kind of confused and not sure what the game actually was trying to do for me. And the series has never really done that before. It usually goes, here's the action, get right into it, there you go. And this time it was kind of open, but it was kind of janky, and that's kind of Assassin's Creed Unity is right now. It's open, but it's kind of janky. Admittedly, this is a new revision of the engine again, much like Assassin's Creed 3. Like, they did a lot of things, and moving around the city is very nice. I like it when the game works. The game works incredibly well, better than it has before, and I feel absolutely awesome, and I can take angles on buildings I could never take before. I can do a lot of side crawling, and Arno, the new main character guy, just does it. But then when the game gets its sticky feet and Arno starts tripping up over himself or jumping on a post when I didn't want him to jump on a post, but there he is on a post when I'm trying to chase this dude, but there I am on a post. It's extremely frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, I got stuck on the scenery more than a few times.
So I am currently putting my Assassin's Creed on pause. I know they're working on a couple of patches that are supposed to iron out a whole mess of bugs. And I have fallen through the scenery a few times. I was fighting a boss, beat the boss, leapt down, and then lost all my progress because I fell fell through the floor into the gray nothingness abyss.
Don't.
Also, the game has lots of loading. And in other Assassin's Creeds, they would let you run around in a fake Animus screen while you're running around. This time, they just had the Helix logo turning. And you're sitting there waiting. And then when it finally wait long enough, they'll show you the very end of the loading bar. They won't show you all the loading bar, they'll show you nothing until like the last like 3/4 needs to be filled. Then they'll show you the loading bar. And it's like, can you just show me the loading bar? Like, give me something more than a spinning logo to... Ugh. But when the game's good, it's really good. It's conflicting.
It is conflicting.
Much like Fantasy Life. Fantasy Life is conflicting. Fantasy Life is, by all rights, an awesome game. And in my life before Final Fantasy XIV, Fantasy Life would be a definite moment of awesome. It is developed by Level 5 and Bonnie Brown. Bonnie Brown was a lot of the guys who made all the Secret of Mana games back when the Secret of Mana games were good. They've also made like Magical Star Sign and some other really cool games. They helped develop Mother 3. Bonnie Brown's a good developer. A lot of the people who worked on Dragon Quest IX on the Level 5 side worked on this game. And it's a super fun game where you can play all these jobs. And you can be like a warrior or a magic user, but you can also like craft or collect like wood or be a miner. And you can and if you get bored, you can switch your jobs. And it's this awesome, fun, funny little Zelda adventure romp with all these variables that are all super similar to Final Fantasy XIV.
I don't know what you're conflicted about. I totally would have made this just a moment of awesome, just straight up.
But every time I play Fantasy Life, all I think about is, I could just be doing this with Final Fantasy XIV.
I don't really feel the same way. Like, it's true, it is very similar. It's a little bit like Final Fantasy XIV meets Animal Crossing. And that just sounds like something wonderful to me.
Yes, but I guess the thing is that the problem is it doesn't... 14... all the itches it's actually scratching for me are all the itches that I'm getting out of Final Fantasy XIV. Like, I'm getting none of the itches that gives me Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Scratching only 14. And I'm already playing and enjoying 14. 14's a better looking, better controlling game. It does everything I want to do better than what Fantasy Life can give me. And again, if I wasn't playing 14... all the elements I like in 14 are still present in Fantasy Life.
Yeah.
And if you've never played Fantasy Life or 14, play Fantasy Life. It's really good, but I am conflicted when I play Fantasy Life. Which is why it's part of my moments of confliction. Well,
I was playing Fantasy Life and I was fishing, and at the time, Barry had not heard anything about Fantasy Life other than it was a game I wanted and I had gotten. And I was sitting there playing it, and he looked over and he was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Fishing." And he just looked at the screen for a second and then said, "Of course you are. Of course that's a game that has fishing in it." Because, for me it really does scratch that, it both scratches that, it scratches that Animal Crossing itch. I do all the things where I go out and I acquire, like, flowers of different colors, and I collect different fruits and things. I decorate my room just so I make friends with my neighbors. But then it also has like the RPG element to it with the job class that you've already talked about. So it, in my opinion, the biggest failing of Animal Crossing was that it didn't have a more RPG element to it. And so for me, in a lot of ways, this game kind of fixes that. I'm hoping that some of my other friends who are really into Animal Crossing pick it up. However, I'm a little worried that it's not going to hit its target demographic as much as it really should, because Animal Crossing is already such a well-established thing. even though I think it's better than Animal Crossing and has the potential to be more enjoyable to them than Animal Crossing actually is, Animal Crossing is already there, whereas Fantasy Life is just released.
Yeah, I think your biggest problem with that plan is, unfortunately, a lot of those same people are also really big Pokemon fans.
Yeah.
And by the time this is out, so is the next Pokemon game.
We're just a few days, aren't we?
Yep, until Alpha, Omega, Ruby, Sapphire, whatever. The remake of Ruby and Sapphire. Which, I'd be really into that idea, except that I'm busy playing other games, and I've realized that I don't have time for a Pokemon game right now. Mostly because if I was playing a 3DS game right now that's like an RPG, I really should be playing Fantasy Life because I really feel it's a good game.
Well,
but then I get conflicted.
Well, when Basil and Kevin came over, one of the other itches that I'm hoping that Fantasy Life scratches for me is the Dragon Quest IX itch. Because there is, in fact, a multiplayer aspect of it that you can unlock as you're playing the game. And I was really looking forward to Basil and Kevin coming over and, us getting out our DSs and us all playing Fantasy Life together. But it turns out Kevin doesn't even have the game, and Basil doesn't have it on him.
Nope.
And if I really wanted that, we'd play a dungeon in Final Fantasy XIV.
Totally
but they are different.
Yeah, you
it's
could
not
totally
the same
run me
thing.
through some of the dungeons I haven't gone through yet. It'd be fun, maybe. Except I'm playing something else right now. But
well, we'll get that. But Kevin, you had a moment of confliction.
I guess I do. There's Tales of Hearts R for the Vita. Yes, they're still making games for the Vita. Which is a port of Tales of Heart, which I think was for the 3DS.
That sounds correct.
But it's a Tales game, a Tales of game. But it has a lot of little problems. Although I think only one of which is actually the fault of the original game. And that's that the combat controls are honestly kind of awkward. It's like, I just outright miss swinging at monsters way more than any other Tales game I've ever played. Special attacks have a hard time connecting. They have a tendency to go off like just a second, just giving the monsters a second to get out of the way before they really go off, which makes some of them feel kind of useless. But I'm kind of getting used to the timing, and I'm still not sure if that's a good thing. Although it also suffers from a lot of bad localization, combined with they didn't redub any of the voices in English. So you have characters who are obviously saying totally different names for everyone, including the main character. Like, they redid almost everyone's names in the game, and but they still have the Japanese dialogue. And they also took out the opening song, which is kind of annoying. So it's, at its heart, It feels pretty good, and has maybe the second most awesome, cool old guy character I've seen in a Tales game.
I'll be the judge of that.
Well, he's no Raven, but he's pretty good. And, well, some people have joked the plot is, and calls it, about the general initial plot line, have jokingly called it Tales of Princess Tutu. But it's not as awesome as that sounds.
Aww.
But you are collecting basically parts of someone's heart.
Man, that is a Princess Tutu-based Tales game does now sound pretty amazing.
That actually sounds pretty great.
Yeah.
Like, we'll never get it.
No.
But
Well, as nicknames go, it's kind of like how Tales of Grace is what some people call Tales of Geas.
Oh, yeah, but that was...
But that's deserved.
That's also Tales of Shipping. Because the characters in the actual game started shipping each other with other characters.
Yeah.
At the same...
Very shippy game.
It was a very shippy game.
Like, especially post-Vesperia, post-Zillia, it's not that great of a Tales game, and technically I think it's... Well, I know it's older than Zillia if we're talking about the original DS version. But I'm not sure if it predates... No, I know it doesn't predate Vesperia, though.
No, it does not predate Vesperia.
But... And so, there's some costumes. And
Vesperia is so important. We really now live in a post-Vesperia
We
era.
really
Yes,
do.
yes.
Like, this is the post-Vesperia era.
So, any conflictions, Doug, besides being conflicted about me being conflicted about
Well, I am
Fantasy Life?
conflicted about you being conflicted about Fantasy Life, and now that you bring it up, I am actually pretty conflicted about the fact that we live in a post-Vesperia age. I mean, what hope do we really have for the future, knowing that the greatest game of all time is behind us?
Phantasy Star 4.
Oh, dearie. Chrono Trigger came out a long time ago.
We all have our own answers for greatest game ever.
Oh,
But then the Sega Nintendo fanboys became more obvious, because for me it's Phantasy Star 4, and for Basil it's Chrono Trigger.
like, there's no other game is ever going to be Tales of Vesperia ever again. There's already been Tales of Vesperia. It's already happened.
They might make Tales of Vesperia 2 well after the window where the people who worked on it probably remember it anymore.
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
I mean, that already happened with the Vesperia movie. Like,
let's be honest, the Vesperia movie, they had to change stuff in the game to match the movie because it was so far off.
But alright, instead of being conflicted, it's time to get back to being awesome with moments of awesome.
It's a moment of awesome.
Alright, folks, moment of awesome. Things that we think that we're doing lately that are pretty awesome. Things that we've done that are pretty awesome. Probably like games or shows or stuff that we've watched and consumed that are awesome. Like Dragon Age Inquisition.
You commie bastard. That was mine. No.
That's why I went first. Because I ain't picking nothing else. So, I picked up Dragon Age Inquisition at my wonderful GameStops, the greatest video game store ever, powered the players, at their 11 o'clock midnight, because they're going by the Eastern time zone. And I get home around midnight after grabbing some quick dinner, because I hadn't eaten yet, and I start playing the game. And then after a little bit, I'm like, man, I'm really tired. I just started. Why am I so tired? Oh. It's 4:30 in the morning. I just played this game 4.5 hours. And I thought it was like 30 minutes. Yes, okay, this game's really good. This game is really, really, really good. It is the Dragon Age 2 I was expecting when I played Dragon Age 2. It is like a bigger, badder, better Origins. With a little bit of DNA from 2. Like, it is a little more console-ified. It is now designed to play on PC or console, and so it still has some of those console, adjustments made to it, but it also has went back and added some PC adjustments to the console game, where you can pause the game at any point you want and go right back into tactical view.
Yeah, I do like the little tactical view element, even if mostly my AI solves its own problems, but it sometimes, when I'm trying to see what's going on in the battlefield, it's not too bad to just pause it for a second and kind of look around.
Now, Dragon Age 2 is okay. Honestly, at this point, it'd be in a moment of confliction.
Yeah, I was having a discussion with Basil where I realized I tend to forget what my brain tries to make the final boss of the game actually be a guy you fight about a third of the way in the game. And it's like, oh wait, no, there's more of the game after that. And that's where it kind of falls apart.
Yeah, the first third of Dragon Age 2 is really good. And you can tell that's probably where BioWare stopped making the game. And a lot of problems that Dragon Age 2 had, they so far all seem to be fixed in 3 or Inquisition.
Inquisition.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I know that is such the easiest thing to do, and here we go not doing that.
Everyone expects the Dragon Age Inquisition.
God damn it, Kevin. All right, folks, we're back to Moment of Confliction. I'm thinking about Kevin right now.
I just don't know about that Kevin character.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with him?
I know, he's an asshole. He's always making inappropriate jokes and acting like it's all funny.
Keeps saying that he does like the French, even though he obviously does.
Clearly loves the French.
I know, what a hypocrite.
I know, right?
Let's get rid of that Kevin guy.
Let's get him. Let's sell his organs to the black market.
We can get his identical twin brother Esteban on the show.
Yeah.
Like, we should sell him to like the illegal, French, Canadian, government, because that's obviously like the place where Kevin wants his organs sold. Or French Canadians. Anyways, back in Thetis and Dragon Age land. You know, so the first game you had a Blight, and that was bad, and you had a Warden who was awesome, who got stuff done and defeated the Blight. But then you also had Dragon Age 2, which had Hawk, who was okay. Had Varric, he was pretty awesome.
Varric is pretty awesome.
Varric, not Varric. Varric's the awesome guy in Korra. Varric is the awesome guy in Dragon Age.
Yeah, but, you know, they got him back for Inquisition.
They did, and
which I don't think is spoilers, because he shows up pretty damn quick.
Where apparently these terrible rifts that opened up where demons are falling out of, they think you're the problem, but then they realize that you're the solution. And so now you're off in the hinterlands, apparently right now, because I've been in the hinterlands for a goddamn 6 hours.
It's huge.
And it's huge. I explained it to a friend of ours. He's like, well, what's it like? Is it like Skyrim? I'm like, no, think Dragon Age Origins, but the size of the maps are like the giant maps you would get in Final Fantasy XIV. And that gives you a better indication. Another better indication might be, whereas if Dragon Age was like the size of, say, like a Sears or a Belk's, this zone feels like the size of the shopping mall that's attached, but still including all the department stores in there.
Yeah, there is a lot in the little nooks and crannies to explore.
Like, it's not open world, but damn is it close.
It's a big world. At least, well, Basil's been playing a bit longer than I have, probably overall time. And we're still both pretty much in the first area the game sends you to after you get out of the prologue.
These zones are so big they actually have to give you a mount to get around in. Like, yeah. It is...
There are like multiple camps that you can set up for quick travel.
Yes, there are like 6 fast travel areas to run around in this one zone. It is gargantuan. You can... There are things where there are quests that lead you to quests, lead you to more quests. And then you realize you're in the opposite side of the map than you meant to go in the first place. It's... The sense of scale is redonky-donk.
So, you know, unless they totally screw the pooch in the rest of the game, it's looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, and the combat's still fun. You can pause it whenever you want to issue out orders. There are been totally areas where I've had to play smart in order to beat guys. There are times where I just get absolutely crushed because I obviously went in the wrong direction a little bit too far.
I found some kind of drake or basilisk or big lizard thing drinking from a lake, and I thought, oh, that looks interesting. And as I approached it, a dragon flew out and killed me from somewhere in the sky, which apparently Basil did not run into when he went through the same area.
Yeah, I've never seen a dragon. I actually got killed by the thing that was in the lake.
So, I'm currently my current hypothesis, the dragon's on some kind of large loop through the area up in that corner, and you may not run into him right away.
You'll randomly run into skulls, and you can look in the skulls, and you'll find shards, which you can collect the shards. What are the shards good for?
We don't know.
No idea.
I found a thing where you play Connect the Dot with the stars.
Yes, that is there. And there's apparently more of them, and there's been caves. I went through a little bit of ruins and talked to an elf.
Just, I don't know, an elf wandered by. Shit happens.
Like, it's Dragon Age. Back when I liked it. And nothing's repeated. Everything is like what it's what I wanted a Dragon Age Origins 2. This is more or less the closest I've gotten to it.
At least just based off the starting area and the hinterlands, it's a pretty game. The environments are pretty.
Oh yeah, the game is beautiful. And BioWare,
even if I had a hard time making a face for my character I liked, but yeah.
This is Dragon Age.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also the Dragon Age where everyone forgot how to brush their teeth again.
Yeah.
As the first game, they wanted a gritty medieval setting. And so people all had terrible teeth. Because there's no way that you're going to have good teeth. Dragon Age 2, they apparently cheated with demons. Because they all had nice teeth. But now we're back. back in real Dragon Age land.
Yeah.
With terrible
I
teeth.
kind of wanted to play a Kunari, but I just couldn't make a Kunari head I was happy with. So I ended up playing a human. Because I eventually got a human face I was kind of happy with. I was going to try Elf after that, but we'll see. Maybe next time.
Yeah, I haven't really... The one thing was interesting about this, sad about this, that it was interesting in Origins, was you do get it, they do tell you a little bit of text on your starting point with your character, but it's not like in a full origin story like you got in Dragon Age Origin.
I really enjoyed that in Origins when you would just, you're depending on your race and class, you had a whole different few hours of starting story.
But admittedly, I did talk to a character who totally brought my character's backstory into account.
Yeah.
Where I also got to question the person about that, and they're like, no, it's cool. It explains why they actually liked my character's backstory. And I was like, oh, well, okay. So the game does, in fact, take it into account and does have text there and people talking to give that. I noticed the voice I chose, but while all the characters seem to be voice acted pretty well, my character does come off a little flat. And that's the first time that's ever happened to me in a BioWare game. Usually my characters sound pretty good. But this time my character does sound a little flat. I was little emotionless, and I was hoping for a little more punch. So yeah, my mode of awesome, Dragon Age Inquisition. Now you pick, Kevin.
My mode of awesome is Dragon Age Inquisition.
Go for it.
Yeah, what Basil said, or what I said with Basil. Now, I really don't know that I have another one, other than I've been like playing Final Fantasy, or watching internet reviewers that I've already watched their stuff. I'm just trying to keep from going insane during the holiday retail season.
That always is not good. Not fun.
Well, not really one of the awesome. Every holiday retail season, I latch onto something to maintain my sanity. That's usually insane. Like, one year I kept marathoning Metalocalypse. Like, I started from the beginning, watched all that I had, and I started over again. Like, I just kept watching Metalocalypse for the holiday retail season, and it kept me sane.
I nod smugly in approval.
Like, this year, I've been watching, like, the backlog of web reviewers I like. I've been going, like, sometimes remembering their early videos were kind of horrible. But
you did also level almost the entire full level 50 of a class in 14.
Yeah, I did make level 50 ninja. Maybe not as quickly as some people, but pretty quickly, considering I had to work a lot of that time.
Yeah, no, I was still impressed. I was still impressed how fast you tore through that. Much like a Rogue-nado.
Yeah.
Tearing through the Eorzean countryside.
Oh, it was glorious seeing the Rogue-nados, because that's what everyone was, of course, playing the Rogue, because it was shiny and new. And you get, like, a dozen rogues in the same fate, and it's just, like, spinning blades everywhere, because that's what most of their attacks are, some kind of spinning double-bladed thing, and it looks like a tornado.
It was like a tornado of scissors going through the countryside.
It is a Rogue-nado. Especially when you started going from fate to fate with them. It was just this little rampaging band.
Did you ever put Don't Lose Your Way in the background while your scissoring went from fate to fate?
Oh, I should have. Then I became a ninja, and for a while I wore orange and kept saying "believe it" at the end of all my sentences. That didn't last long. Did
anybody figure out what you were doing?
I hope so, but the game doesn't really have a clear Naruto cosplay costume, but I think I got as close as I could.
All right, Doug, regale us with a tale of awesome, a tale of triumph, a tale of probably Japan.
All right, I've been debating on which story to tell.
Tell the good one.
Okay, I'm going to tell the good one. I'm actually going to tell another true moment of awesome. Okay, so I speak a little Japanese. Not a lot. I've learned, I passed the Japanese 101 at some point in my life. I watch anime a lot. I think, however, actually going to Japan, I realized that I definitely thought I spoke better Japanese than I apparently actually do. I'm also apparently much better at hearing people speak Japanese to me than I am at actually speaking it myself, which is a pretty common thing among people who are studying languages. So, as it turned out, I actually only had like a handful of phrases and words that I could actually use, and that was not that much. Fortunately, in most places, it wasn't all that necessary, because Japan is very good about having English signs in addition to the Japanese signs pointing you places. On most billboards, like on the subway station, like, it'll have where the subway is going in Japanese, and then it'll have in another language, either Korean or Chinese, and then it'll have it in English. And so we were very much able to muddle our way through. When we were in Narita, it was not a problem at all. The people of Narita were obviously very accustomed to Western travelers in their nation, and just about everybody in Narita spoke pretty good English. Like, if they didn't speak great English, they at least spoke some English. Well, then we immediately left from Narita to Kyoto. And in Kyoto was where we first started having some language barrier problems. We didn't have a lot of language barrier problems. The first one we had was trying to explain that, the beds were very hard, and Barry was uncomfortable in his bed. It was too hard. And so we wanted them to put extra padding down on his bed. But we didn't know the word for padding. Eventually, they didn't know what we were trying to indicate. Eventually, the concierge came up with another mat. The mats were very thin, so she was going to put 2 mats down on his bed. And we just were hoping that it was right. This was the same day we traveled to Mount Arashiyama. The hotel we were staying at offered guided tours of Kyoto, but they also listed everything that the tour did, to explain why you were giving them, 10,000 yen.
Right.
Why are we giving them 10,000 yen? Oh, because they're going to do this, this, and this, and this for us. Well, we thought about it, and we just took the guide and then just went to those locations ourselves. Probably saved about 80% of the yen that they would have charged us. And it's true, we didn't have an English-speaking guide, but again, we really didn't need an English-speaking guide. Most of it was just observing the beauty of nature, of observing, what the stuff that was already there. But one of the things about Kyoto that I knew before I even went over is that when tea was first brought to Japan from China, the first place where they planted it was in Kyoto. So Kyoto is going to have the most ancient and is going to have the most historically established tea plantations. And naturally, a lot of the Kyoto specialty dishes are have a very strong emphasis on tea. Later on, we went to a tea ceremony in Kyoto, and of course I loved that. But the moment comes down to, it was the same day we had gone to Mount Arashiyama. We had hiked all over everything. In retrospect, I would have spent a lot more time in that area because everything I liked was basically in that area. I didn't want to buy any kimonos yet because that was so early in the trip. I thought I was going to encounter them later. I was wrong. That was the time and place to buy them. But it was also, I went into this little tea shop that was run by this woman who was grinding the tea leaves in her shop. She was fresh grinding the tea leaves into matcha right there. And she was this adorable Japanese woman. She had that she was very, very skinny, and she had this like silver dusting into her hair, but it was still mostly black, So she was so pretty. But anyhow, she spoke very little English. She very clearly knew, the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, as much as I knew, Ichini, Sayan. And so she spoke very little English. She did not understand much, if anything, of what I said when I tried to speak Japanese to her, because, when people are talking about, they have such a strong Japanese accent, they have such a strong this or that accent, we have an accent too. And so when I was trying to, I assumed that I must have had a horrible American accent.
Right.
nigh unintelligible. But despite the fact that she didn't speak hardly any English, and I didn't speak hardly any Japanese, the two of us still managed to have a quite lengthy conversation about tea. We talked about tea. The power of tea is so strong that it overcomes language barriers. Naturally she prefers matcha from Kyoto, but we both agreed that matcha was superior to sencha. We loved matcha. We also really adored a really good green color. Because Midori is one of the words I know. We talked about how to make it. We talked about the kinds of bowls that we like. We talked about the kinds of bowls we liked. And so I just ended up having this wonderful conversation with this lady, and we managed to have the entire conversation through the language of tea rather than any human language, and it was a wonderful moment of awesome.
Excellent. So, with that, I think it's time for us to take another break, and we'll be back with a whole segment, a show of awesome, also from Japan, Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. We'll be right back. So, when I pestered Twitter for questions about Nozaki-kun, the first one I got was from a young, sprightly Dave Merrill, who sees all the latest shows. And his response was, I got to see a film in school about something that happens to girls once a month, but they didn't call it Nozaki. And that is somewhat appropriate in starting this conversation, because when I first heard about this show, all I heard was the title, and my brain zeroed on the girls' part and thought it was probably some dumb harem show, without actually watching it. But then, Twitter was constantly like, nah, dog, it's the good shit.
Which is maybe doubly ironic considering the setup of the show is based on a tremendous misunderstanding.
It's true. Furthermore, it's a misunderstanding because this is actually a shonen work done by a shoujo mangaka.
About a boy who writes a girl's comic.
And as it turns out, I did watch it, and I found to realize it was absolutely tremendous. And then I force-fed it to both Doug and Kevin, and thankfully they also agreed. It's tremendosity. And so the show starts off, and this is not the spoiler section yet, but I feel it's okay to start.
Are there spoilers for this show?
There are spoilers. There's spoilers for this show.
Tomoda's a spoiler.
Which we're not going to get into yet. I know you want to talk about him.
Tomoda.
But there's more to this show than that. In fact, it starts with our lead male and female characters, Sakura and Nozaki. And Sakura is confessing to Nozaki. And he responds like all normal men would. He gives her his autograph.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally normal, right?
And
I did that all the time in high school.
She then attempts to confess again, and she's not very good at this whole confessing love thing. And his response is to ask her to come back to his place, to which she does.
Oh, going back to his place so soon.
No, it's not that kind of show.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of show. Every time I do this at a panel, I have to tell people this is not that kind of show. And then, it goes into it, and she's there, and next thing she knows, he's handing her papers of comic book stuff and wants her to fill in key areas with black. And after she's done this for a few hours, it finally dawns on her that Nozaki-kun is a mangaka.
It's so when she confessed her love by saying, "I'm your biggest fan, and I want to work by your side through everything."
He thought she wanted to be an assistant. That she was actually a fan. Which was surprising to him because he's kept his whole mangaka stuff somewhat of a secret because everyone thought that he was being a stupid idiot when he said he was a mangaka.
I don't think it's so much he kept it secret, it's just no one believed him and then everyone just kind of dropped it.
And that forms the core of our show. It's actually funny.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Like, and I don't mean, like, it's not just, oh, here's the reference, ha ha ha. Like, it actually sets up and executes jokes. Like, there's a difference.
And its jokes are funny.
Yes.
And that's pretty much the core of the show. Is that, it's somewhat, I guess you could call it, a harem. It's a totally platonic harem.
Yeah, it would be a platonic harem because one of the ways that they introduce other characters aside from just other than just our main couple is Nozaki is looking for inspiration for characters to go into his manga, and so they're looking around at all their friends at high school, and you realize that Nozaki has actually put several of his real-life friends in the manga, just not in the role that you would necessarily think of them being. And
until you realize that's totally
where they would be.
But yeah, it kind of starts with Nozaki and Sakura, and as the show goes on, it kind of expands the circle of friends a bit by bit. Mm-hmm. And, the characters you introduce to continue to be relevant throughout the other episodes. And you just realize they have a big, weird group of friends between the two of them.
Yeah, the actual show, I think I would, in fact, compare this most to is, in fact, Osamangadaiyo.
I was actually thinking that the show that I would have compared it most to is actually The Daily Life of High School Boys.
Never seen that show.
Well, it's another comedy where the show is more or less divided up into two different segments where there's two different main jokes that they're going for. Just like Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, that's pretty much the format of the show. And it slowly but steadily introduced a fairly wide cast of characters once they establish their main couple. And it's mostly inconsequential, mundane stuff that is just kind of humorous when you look at it just by itself.
Yeah,
that's
kind of how Sakura Trick was, except Sakura Trick, the joke every episode was two girls kiss. Well, that was the punchline. The joke was different. It was always the same punchline.
Well, two girls don't kiss in this,
No.
and they also don't kiss in The Daily Life of High School Boys.
Nor do they in Osamangadaiyo.
Yeah, but it does make me think a lot of The Daily Life of High School Boys, which is a mouthful of a title to say.
Japan likes long titles these days.
But just because a lot of it seems to be this interaction between boys that, again, is kind of stupid, kind of mundane, but kind of funny when you're just looking at it.
And if it was girls, it'd be Osamangadaiyo. Like, I think we're just talking to the same thing.
I think we are.
Like, I think it's, again, and I bet Daily Lives of High School Boys was probably a 4-coma. Mm-hmm. A 4-panel comedy comic. Much like Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun and much like Osamangadaiyo.
Yeah.
Like, it's, the trick is that they're all actually funny with actual jokes, probably because it is a 4-coma. Mm-hmm. And so what Nozaki-kun does really well is that it has super goofy, weird, eccentric characters that are also highly relatable.
Yes.
For example, you get the first person they give you that's not Sakura or Nozaki is Mikoshiba.
Oh, I loved Mikoshiba.
Or Mikorin, as his cute name is, given to him by Nozaki-kun. Or by Nozaki, who is... Because he's so adorable.
So adorable.
And when you first meet him, you don't think he's adorable until you actually let the character work. And then you realize he's, in fact, so adorable.
Well, his first impression on the screen is partially because he has red hair, but his first impression on the screen is to kind of view, you know, that brash, tough boy kind of thing, you know, the no-good scallywag with a heart of gold. Except he's just too adorable. He's kind of the show Wooby, but...
he knows how to say the smooth lines, and then he gets totally embarrassed that he said the smooth lines. You know, it's...
And then you've got Seo, the inadvertently jerky girl.
Yeah.
Who, she doesn't mean to be a jerk.
In fact, one of the things Nozaki-kun kind of points out, like in his manga, he eventually uses her as a male inspiration, as a male character. She's actually pretty dashing and daring.
She's just completely without tact.
And then they introduce and then we got Kevin's character.
Yeah, we got Kevin's character.
Kashima, the prince.
And that the character I just totally fall in love with, not the one I most like. But
and then of course you've got Hori, who is the president. Kashima, she's the prince of the drama club because she always plays the prince,
and all she the acts girls like the want prince. Her because she's a prince.
And then you got Hori, the president of the drama club,
who's too short to play the leading roles,
but is the only person who can keep Kashima in line. And then you've got, Wakamatsu, who's the basketball kid, who has an inadvertently interesting relationship with Seo that really has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah.
Special. I feel that it is special, and that's not even including the characters like Nozaki's editors. His fellow mangaka who lives in his upstairs, building, upstairs of his building, and these and you just get this, 24 minutes of goofy character humor action every week, and it's funny every week, whether it's them trying to ride a 2-person bicycle. Whether it deals with, this is the only show that I've ever seen that has an episode partially dedicated to dating sims that I really super enjoyed. First ever. Most other shows, I'm like, oh great, it's the dating sim episode. Of course, there's a dating sim episode. They always have dating sim episodes. And I thought, at first, the same thing about Nozaki-kun. By the time it was over, I was like, this show kind of just justified the existence of dating sims. It went in such an interesting direction, an interesting tact with it. It spun my opinion of dating sims all the way around to that they're okay because of Nozaki-kun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then you've got stuff like, you get the sports episode and the drama episode, the fireworks episode. They hit upon all those, tropes, for lack of a better word, of shoujo and even shonen stuff. And they just hit it with a degree of energy, a degree of heart, and a degree of actual honest-to-God comedy that makes this show just really fun to watch.
Episodes about writing comics.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot of it about writing comics because Nozaki-kun, he is a manga creator, and his absolute driven to the craft of creating girls' comics.
And his bizarre, wrong genre savvy ways when he tries to relate life to how girls' comics would go.
Well, for me, that was one of the more amusing things that made me fall in love with Nozaki-kun. Was actually, again, in the first episode, after Sakura has realized that Nozaki is a mangaka, she manages to identify which mangaka he is and which manga he's writing. And he's writing under a pen name, so a lot of people think that he's actually a female mangaka when, he's a high school boy.
And he's a big, manly guy. Like, he is tall, broad-shouldered. Like, he was a school athlete, and he eventually stopped playing basketball because he was worried about hurting his hands.
They've done an interview in him in this week's issue of Monthly Girls, not Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, but Monthly Girls.
Monthly Girls is the manga magazine he's published in. And
she's reading this interview that's describing, how in tune he is with what girls, are like, and then she looks over at what he's actually talking about with the other high school boys, and it's so dumb and inane that there's just this huge disconnect that's clearly happening in her mind as she's trying to decipher the person from.
And they give you constant shots of she's reading this one thing where it's like, he's so great in this. Cut to him in class doing the opposite thing.
Yeah.
And this opposite thing. And then he goes to I was like, the interview was so annoying. They gave me coffee. Who gives a high school kid coffee? To which she's like, that was his interview. That is him. Okay. And it's a good show.
They actually do talk a fair bit about the actual process of making manga.
Because as it turns out, all these characters most of them also work for Nozaki.
Yeah. A good chunk of them are also his assistants.
Despite it being somewhat of a secret, it's a pretty well-known secret.
Amongst his friends, and I don't think they get paid.
Nope. No, I'm pretty sure they don't. I think they just do it out of the goodness of their heart, or, whatever. Well, I don't know. He kind of has a tit-for-tat thing with the drama club guy. Because the drama club guy helps him out, and he writes for the drama clubs a bit. So they got that going. And I think Mikurin's just his buddy. And Sakura is madly in love with him, so there you go.
If there is a harem element to this show, it is, in fact, the dichotomy of Sakura is clearly just head over heels for Nozaki-kun, and Nozaki-kun is just, like most protagonists of a harem anime, just flat out not getting it.
The show even likes to tease fairly often that it seems like he's getting it, and then he just completely left turns off into something totally different.
But unfortunately, it would be either a harem of one, or it's not a harem anime. Or platonic harem.
But yeah, Nozaki-kun, you can watch all of it on Crunchyroll. Sentai actually has a license for it. We probably will see a disc version of it at some point next year.
Nice.
Hopefully Sentai does a good job with it. I imagine the dub's probably going to be kind of lame. Sentai doesn't exactly bring in the greatest voice actors anymore. They don't quite have the stable of talent they had when they totally were not ADV films.
Yeah. Sentai especially can be kind of hit and miss because they tend to rush through their process. So, like where Funimation might take another take, Sentai might go, yeah, no, that was good. Next line.
I really like the opening theme.
The opening theme is, in fact, pretty boss. It might have the best bass line out of any opening this year.
Of all the anime that I've watched this year, no other opening makes me want to get up and dance around as much as the Nozaki-kun.
Well, it makes sense. There's plenty of YouTube videos of people doing their own dance routines.
Really?
To the Nozaki-kun opening. Even though the opening has absolutely no dance routine attached to it.
It has walking.
It does have walking.
It has walking.
And destroying evil tanukis with manga techniques.
Well, because tanukis are very important
Tanukis are super important, Kevin.
Like, didn't you listen to the last episode where we learned all about the Tanuki?
I think, well, yeah, that's...
That mean
that
old
one
Tanuki.
That one damn editor. And his obsession with Tanukis.
Like, it is, this... Like, we're definitely doing a spoiler section because there's a lot of really good episodes. And the problem is that we can't really talk about too much about them because if we spoil them, then there's the jokes.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the trick of doing reviews and conversations about comedy shows, in that if you explain the jokes, it's not quite so funny anymore. So you want to have a spoiler section. We go, oh man, wasn't that such a great joke? Oh yeah, that was a great joke.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't mind, so much, throwing in, like, the first episode because, okay, you need...
that essentially becomes the premise.
Right. And so I don't mind too much of that. But, so yes, you should go watch it. There is a very good chance that Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun might be my favorite show of the year.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like, it very well may end up being, like... It is one of the few shows that I can rewatch, and every time I rewatch it, it puts a fresh new smile on my face.
Like, sometimes it's the same old joke that gets me, sometimes it's even noticing a joke that I didn't...
Yeah.
That I was still chuckling at a previous joke.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Like, it's a good show. And everyone should go watch it. Again, you can watch it on Crunchyroll right the hell now. Get on Crunchyroll and watch it. I think I've mentioned it a few times in Getting Your Anime Groove Back. It's probably going right back in there, except for probably AWA, because that's where I think I first really shown it. But until then, we'll be right back with spoilers, followed by that, questions, followed by that, awesomes out of awesomes. Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, this is the OSMcast.
ごく優しくてこちらとしてはそんなつもりないけどやっぱりてんじゃんてか聞こえてんじゃんそれ
Welcome back to the OSMcast, or the Tomoda cast.
Basil. Tomoda.
That dating sim half part of the episode. Good God.
Okay, so here's what the joke with Tomoda is. By now, I'm assuming that you have either seen the show or you don't care about spoilers. So here, like, what it is during the dating sim episode, they notice that there's the friend character that within the context of the dating sim, there is the friend character who's just supposed to help you out. But when you look at it from a purely like analyzing the situation perspective, you realize that nobody else in the entire game has gone through the tender, loving care that Tomoda goes through for the main character. And so they end up having to make a yaoi dojin for Tomoda, to give Tomoda a good ending.
Two, as far as we know, heterosexual men write the yaoi dojinshi for the gay option for the dating sim.
Because, sometimes the gay option just needs to be there.
Well, and that's because it's Nozaki doing his Nozaki thing, where his devotion to the shoujo craft is so complete and so zeroed on that he can't help at all times to be thinking, how do I put this in my manga? How do we make this happen? And so he immediately goes like, well, this character's underrepresented, and that's really lame. Let's write a story for this character. And
like, it started out as he was such a good friend. He needs a love interest. We should and they're first trying to pair him up with one of the girls in the game until they realize that no, No, the one he obviously cared the most about was the protagonist. That's the protagonist. That's what they write.
And it's true. Why is he giving you random movie tickets? Why is he going through such effort to help you out? Unless he truly loves you that much.
That's like episode 4.
And then, of course, there are many times where he has the chance to do the wrong thing or the right thing, but the wrong thing would give him a chance to get material for his manga, so that's obviously actually the right thing.
Yes.
Or be times where he invites all his male buddies to hang over overnight
To try to get a glimpse of girl talk.
And
Because
figure
this
out
is
what
maybe
happened.
the biggest spoiler of the whole series, is almost all the characters
Our gender swap.
exist in his comic totally gender swapped. Like his buddy Mikashiba is the basis of the heroine of his manga.
Because he's so adorable.
He is. He's just so adorable.
The girl with, who has no sense of tact is totally a guy in the comic. I think we said that, but, it's just...
Well, it also... There's an allusion to it with, the prince, like, in the real... In the real world of Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun,
Kashima.
Kashima's a girl. So it's not that far of a stretch to imagine Kashima as a boy character.
Right.
Yeah, she totally gets all the ladies. She's just that dashing. It's
Well, she also, much like Mikoren, is also the completely safe option.
yeah.
Like, because Mikoren, his big thing is that he'll talk the big game. Then you just get really embarrassed he just talked a big game.
Yeah.
And then nothing can happen.
He talks like he's going to drag the girls off and ravish them, and then he's like just embarrassed being around them.
Whereas her thing is more of a... Like, they allude to the fact that she refers to all the other girls as my lovely princess. Actually, because she's a bit of a klutz.
She's a bit of a klutz, and she doesn't remember names very well.
Yeah, so it's an easy, polite way to kind of smooth over the fact that she doesn't actually remember their names. So she's just really smooth and personal and congenial and easy to get along with.
Although has a tendency to go off on wild, crazy tangents where the drama club president is concerned.
I like how, it's very obvious that she has a crush on the drama club president, but nobody else can tell that if she does or not, because she's constantly doing things where it either looks like she's trying to help him or like she's bullying him. Like, it could go either way.
When in her brain, she thinks she's only helping him.
Yeah.
But in reality, not at all sometimes.
Yeah.
Or the best way to help him is to do the opposite thing of what she decides to do. And then, of course, she has her own problems of constantly being late and flirting with girls, which then tends to have violent consequences from the drama club president. But it seems like she might kind of like it.
They almost have an Oscar Andre thing going on where they like each other, but they still get into fistfights.
Oh man, and Seo. Seo. Oh God, Seo. The Glee Club's Lorelei.
Which, this is the totally tactless girl whose secret power is she is an amazing singer.
Just balls to the wall, amazing singer. But man, when she plays basketball, they don't have a basketball team to help the basketball. It's to show them what a terrible player and a terrible not a team player can be. So they really should act more like a team, guys. Or else then you act like her and no one wants to act like her.
She's the example of what not to do.
In almost all cases, not singing.
Yes.
Like, if you want to know the advice to give to someone, ask her, and then do the opposite advice.
And it's like, her heart is totally in the right place. She doesn't mean to do anything mean to anybody. She just has no tact.
And she's great friends with Sakura, and I thought this was a great moment where Nozaki was trying to figure out like what must have transpired that would cause her to be friends with Sakura. Like, how would those two get together as friends? And they sat next to each other. Like, it was...
After you imagine this crazy scenario...
Like, he imagines 2 or 3 crazy scenarios.
Yes. But they just sat together in class. I guess one thing led to another.
Yeah, they just sat next to each other in class and said, hey, and that was it. They were friends. Like...
Yeah. But then there's the basketball guy who's... Boy, I don't even remember his name, but...
Brain, work. I know this. Wakamatsu.
Yeah. Who knew Nozaki from when he played basketball, and now keeps running into Seo because she shows up to, air quotes, help the basketball team. And their relationship, like, he's pretty much her boyfriend, and he just doesn't know it.
Yeah, like, he thinks they're, like, enemies or rivals when he's clearly just dating her. Yeah. Like, from a third perspective, he's clearly just dating her.
But neither of them realize that they're dating.
I think she does.
Like, I think she thinks... Like, I think it is how she courts. Like, I think the way she acts towards him...
Basketball courts, yes. Yes.
I mean, I think that's just how she would approach someone she was interested in, but just Seo being Seo, she kind of comes off like she's bullying him a little. But he seems to kind of like it. He just doesn't know it. Like, he acts like it pisses it off, but he keeps going back for more.
Man, I remember that when I really, really fell for this show. Because, again, I had watched this when it first started. I actually waited for a couple episodes in. Mm-hmm. And it might have been actually just 2 episodes, because it was actually the second episode when they actually introduced Mika Rin. When I realized what I was really in for the show. Because that was when they introduced Mika Rin and Seo. Mm-hmm. And it was the moment where Mika Rin was with Sakura and Nozaki. And he keep going to her. Now, if you have any issues, any problems, don't tell me. I'm your senpai. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm too good.
I'm too busy for your problems.
Like, it's... Sakura's like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm good. Until at some point, Nozaki has to pull her aside and go, can you ask him a question?
Because he's sitting there, like, he's just, like, watching her intently, like, are you going to ask me about something? Are you going to ask me about something?
Because I really want to answer this. I really want to... And it ends up with her going, like, can you show me this? Wow, you're so smart. I would never figure this out by myself. Man, Mika Rin, you're so great. He's like, yes, I'm your senpai. I am important. Yes, let me bestow my wisdom upon you. And I was like, okay, I am now officially all in on this show. And then they introduced Seo, and I'm like, okay, I'm all in on this show. And every time they introduced another character, I was once again, I am all in on this show.
Any one of these characters would probably have made you watch all of this show.
But they're all in the show.
I think I've got a sweet spot for Mika Rin. Like, I think that I want to be the most like Mika Rin. I actually think I'm probably the most like the drama club leader.
Oh, Hori.
Yeah. Which, I don't know how I feel about that, and I think that might be the most Hori response of all.
Well, like I said before this podcast, like, yeah, Kashima is totally my favorite girl character, but part of me thinks I would want to date Seo.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know what that says about me. But
yeah, I can see that happening. That echoes real life too much. That makes me feel a little uncomfortable when you say that.
Yeah.
I'd probably Nozaki. Like, I'd probably be Nozaki.
Yeah, probably it would be.
I sort of secretly wish...
See, that's what we mean by these characters are all so relatable. Like, we're sitting here talking about which one would we be, which one would we date.
I strangely would kind of like to be Nozaki's editor. I don't know.
Well, I mean, everyone wants to be Nozaki's editor.
Everybody wants to be Nozaki's editor. He's the coolest adult imaginable. He's just so mature and so cool.
And just so amazing in everything that he does. I mean, he's just the best.
I mean, spoiler section. We're in the spoiler section, so yeah, he's totally just like a normal guy. Like, the only reason he seems cool, the only person he seems cool to is Nozaki.
Like,
because he actually treats Nozaki like a human being,
as opposed to his previous editor.
Oh God, his previous
editor who wants to put whose constructive criticism mostly consists of, can you put more tanukis in it? Like, he's needs more cowbell man of tanukis.
Well, he won Nozaki over just by saying, I was reading your manga, and suddenly Nozaki was like, you actually read it?
Yeah,
I love you.
I mean, I'm your editor.
Yeah, I like the editor, his real editor, who wants none of Nozaki's shit. Like, he wants none of it. He just wants his manuscript on time, and, he'll sometimes have a couple comments, and he wants Nozaki to take that into account, and that's it. He's good,
But he has learned how to manage Nozaki.
Which is a feat.
And the other editor who was constantly there's this other idea. You should totally do this idea. Well, I was going to do this idea. No, let's do this other idea.
Oh my gosh, I can tell you as somebody who's been an artist for a while. Yeah. I knew Nozaki's pain on all of those issues, and I wanted to kill that guy. I just wanted him. I could understand and relate to the rage that just.
I like these, where it got to the point where he would suggest to do something, and Nozaki would just do something totally different to be contrary. Mm-hmm. So he had almost no traditional holiday stories. He was like, oh, we should do a Valentine's Day story. It's like, no, fuck that. We're not doing a Valentine's Day story. We're doing something else entirely.
Well, it's like when you're drawing a character for somebody, and you go, well, do you have any idea of how you want them to be standing? And they say, well, why don't you just have them standing there?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm going to be drawing them standing up. Do you want, a pose? You want them doing anything with their hands? What kind of things are they doing? Well, maybe just have them throw a peace sign. Just banging my head against a wall.
And my original character has one devil wing and one angel wing, and
no. It's one tanuki wing
and
another tanuki wing. Can you actually just make them a tanuki?
Yeah.
With some more tanukis, and let's just add some more tanukis standing with the peace sign. That sounds pretty good, and it's during Valentine's Day.
Fucking tanuki guy. He probably has a real name, but he's fucking tanuki guy.
Or he's thinking about introducing a new character into his storyline, and so he asks his editor for opinions. What the editor thinks he should add. And the editor responds back with a new character.
Well, and if he wants a new character, to be like, well, how about a tanuki?
Yeah.
God damn. I like tanukis as much as the next weeaboo, but that guy takes it over the line.
Over the tanuki line.
Over the tanuki line.
Over the red line.
And that's why...
No. That would indicate he's cooler than he is.
But that's why, I'm pretty sure that's why a tanuki is murdered in every opening credits.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Man, I kept waiting for the crazy, super action to happen in that show thanks to opening credits and realized, wait, no, that's very specifically not happening.
No. There is minimal action in the show other than the occasional insane rampage down the halls courtesy of Kachima and the drama club guy.
And Seo's frantic, terrible basketball playing.
Yeah.
Where rough housing apparently is how you play sports.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she leaves a lot of that team semi-conscious by the end of the match.
It's...
She's kind of a horrible person, but she doesn't mean to be.
And poor Miyako, Nozaki's other mangaka, lives upstairs.
Who actually is stuck with Tanuki Editor. And, like, what was that one where, like, it basically started turning into all Tanuki all the time?
Tanuki ended up with a happier ending than the main characters.
And don't forget... And however, I do feel that, an extra shot does need to go to the Let's Fall in Love characters, our male and female lead. Because they are featured many times.
Yeah.
With the male lead, voiced by, Miyano Mamoru. Mamoru Miyano.
Really? I somehow missed that. I do like him. He's a good voice actor.
Like, Oh no, I realize, like, is that Host Club and Other Stuff guy?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is totally Host Club and Other Stuff guy. Like, he is the perfect lead in a shoujo manga character. Like, that's totally, and then you realize, then you also have, the female lead, Mamiko, who is technically based off Mikoran, only she originally was, in fact, based on Sakura. Back when Nozaki was first starting. You learned that in the first episode, the final episode.
Yeah.
Where that's how actually Sakura and Nozaki first met, and that's actually why Mamiko has the ribbons in her hair that are very similar to Sakura. That was before Sakura had the awesome, dotted, polka dotted, hair bands, bows, words.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that last episode
with the fireworks and you think you might have the end of the show. No.
You think you might have a true love confession, but no.
Well, ultimately, the show seems to... One thing that we Western viewers kind of forget about anime, because we like it so much and we don't live in the context of it, is but a lot of times an anime is really nothing more than a glorified advertisement for the manga.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, but I do think that's what this series is. Like, they've animated a couple of story arcs of it, and if you like it, go read the manga for the rest of it.
But honestly, and we say that, it's a pretty good complete work on its own.
It is. It has definite...
admittedly, for as much that little romantic resolution tease, the final episode feels like a good place to stop the show.
It does.
And you've got, and everybody's there, and they're having fun, and they're all happy, and you see everybody's pals, and that even if it's not a real romantic confession, you see that there's a good scene with Nozaki and Sakura where they seem you kind of get that they've grown a lot closer over the run of the series.
Yeah, definitely. Like, things have progressed, things have changed from the very beginning. Maybe not by as much as we wanted them to, but they have changed. And it's a good stopping point. I do think it does leave it... I think it leaves it open enough that it could continue to go on. If they did make a second season, that would make me very happy, but I don't actually expect them to.
Right. So, alright. So, I think this is a good spot. Once again, it's on Crunchyroll right now. You can buy it from Sentai in disc form at some point. We're taking another break. We come back... Questions from people on the internet, listeners like you. This is the OSMcast.
咲き誇れ純情可憐書店やがれ Oh 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 シャイな見た目控えめなバーで君を止め今日の漫画の海へ飛び込んで入れ込んで想像の中へ夢があって日じゃない君の世界さ baby はしゃぎ回れ心のまま
Alright folks, questions from people, from listeners from the internet like you about Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. And we've already started off with Dave's first mention, so we'll skip the Dave. We already talked about Dave. Hi Dave, hope everything's going well.
We love you, Dave.
All right, Kevin, this one's for you.
Yeah?
By Corey at Impassionate K. Explain in less than 20 words why Kashima is the greatest.
That's well, because she's the hot tomboy prince type.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would go with. She is the prince. That's enough. That's all you gotta say.
Like, he said it in 20, he said less than 20 words. That's a lot of words.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to expound upon those words at all, Kevin? And you want to try to hit exactly 20 words.
I don't know if I can hit exactly 20 words. If I was going to expound, I think I'd have to go over 20 words. But, that's a hot tomboy prince girl is totally my type. That's what I like in anime.
Yeah.
Women.
All right.
That's just...
From Vinny, at Vinny Ave AGC. You mean build fighters, right? We're going to get to it. God damn it. We are going to get to build fighters one of these days. We've got awesome Mr. Nicholas Quaz.
I was actually even saying tonight that they should just get Nicholas up on Skype.
I don't know if Nico's free. B, I don't have any of the other stuff that's required for Skype calls.
Yeah, so you say.
Yeah, it's still my room. I have to dig out of its packaging.
It'll happen one day.
One of these days, we'll have build fighters. I mean, hell, we're now into season 4 of Korra. We've still yet to record season 3 of Korra podcast.
Yeah, that is true. I have to watch season 3 again.
Well, yeah, because season 4 is not so fresh.
Yeah.
And they are different shows.
And 3 and 4 follow so closely together. I didn't really rewatch 3 at all between 4 coming out.
We may just do a 3 and 4 combo.
Maybe.
Because they do kind of so follow each. Well, no, because there's such a big break between 3 and 4 time-wise. Anyways.
That's another podcast for another day.
From Jeff Tebbets at Jeff Tebbets. Most comedic moment.
Most comedic moment?
Tomoda!
I knew that was coming.
That's pretty damn funny.
That was pretty damn funny.
Being relevant to my favorite character, there is a scene with Kashima running down the hall with a drama club president on her back, and she's wearing a bull mask.
Yeah, that was a pretty good moment.
And just for sheer what the fuck value, that just the absurdity of that scene had me practically rolling on the ground.
I think it was when Nozaki was getting the boys to have a slumber party. And then realizing, guys, I think he's trying to have us have a slumber party. I think that's what's happened. Somehow he's engineered for all this to happen so we can have a slumber party. So we can do a slumber party issue of his manga. Guys, I think... I think that's what made it for me. Bradley Meek is like, dude, I'm recording my review of Nozaki-kun tonight too. Awesome, man. Whereas Vinny is like, I haven't watched Nozaki yet. Get on it. Get on it, Vinny. I thought you were better than that.
It's not often I endorse a show that does not involve magical or supernatural or
I have a question.
elements.
I have a question for Kevin.
Yes?
At what point in this show would you have put a giant robot? Because it is the one thing the show is missing.
Besides the first episode?
Yeah, besides in the first episode.
I don't know. I would have had him work it into the manga somewhere and then have the editor be like, what the hell are you doing? This is a girl's comic. Like, you would try to throw in a giant robot. He'd be like, we need something fantastical in this story. Like
a giant robot. Like, I want to do a giant robot episode.
Yeah.
In the manga. And he's like, what are you doing?
You think you're clamped with Magic Knight Rares here? This is stupid, man. What the hell are you doing?
That, or that's what the stupid editor would have said, although they were giant Tanuki robots. Alright. Then Corey responded when I'd mentioned that we were making tea. It's pretty great green tea, guys. I got more time to think of stupid Kashima-related questions. What would the scene when Kashima carries Hori be better with a horse or cow head?
Well, I don't know. That's an important question.
I think it's better with the horse head. I do. I think it's better with the horse head.
Horses are more princely.
They are.
Although...
there's also the Wordsworth reference.
Yeah, I was going to say, the horse head does make me think of either Wordsworth or that one episode of Full Metal Panic from Mofu with the ponytail.
Yeah.
The serial ponytail giver.
And then possibly the most important question, who do you ship?
Wow, that's a...
I think I probably shipped Sakura and Nozaki the most.
Ridley, I wanted those two crazy kids to get together.
If we're going to be honest, I kind of shipped, I'm blanking. I do this.
Miko-rin?
Yeah, I kind of shipped Miko-rin and Nozaki.
Well, they have moments. They have definite moments.
They have their moments.
Look, maybe some scenes require deep research, alright, guys? Very deep research.
And I really did, even though I'm not entirely sure the show wants to get them together, I did kind of like the Kashima and the drama club president guy. I thought they made an interesting, slightly dysfunctional couple.
Yeah, I kind of ship them too.
But man, nothing is more dysfunctionally wonderful than Seo and Wakamatsu.
Yeah. Funny, we've never bothered to... I don't think we've said the drama club president guy name once.
Hori.
Okay, Hori.
Yeah.
I was blanking on his name. But yeah, Seo and Wakamatsu are a wonderfully dysfunctional relationship.
I ship them too.
There are times where
I ship all the characters.
I kind of wonder if Miko-rin sometimes might develop a thing for Sakura, because I kind of lean that direction here and there, but then he immediately snaps out of it and realizes that no, there's no way.
Yeah, she's
There's
so
no way.
into...
Actually, Miko-rin and that one girl from the art class who was putting him in poses, who wanted him in the one where he was utterly betrayed and defeated, or, there's one wanted just a really crazy pose, and I shipped them. Reasons. Because there has to be a crack shipping in here somewhere.
Alright, and then our final question, also from Corey, and this is actually a real question for once. Best commentary on a shoujo trope that Nozaki-kun did?
I don't know.
Because I can't say shonen, because shonen was the dating sim.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do like how he tried to apply shoujo manga logic to the dating sim, and it was totally all the wrong answers. Because it's not meant to be a girl fantasy fulfillment, it's meant to be a guy fantasy fulfillment.
I think the one that stood out for me most was actually the caught without an umbrella in the rain scenario. Mm-hmm. When they highlighted on that and they did all the things about that, that's the one that stood out in the moment for me, partially because I do ship the main couple, and I think of all the moments, that's the one that ended up kind of the warmest.
Yeah, I could see that. I think for me, once again, it goes right back to the sleepover episode. Mm-hmm. Where he's constantly really trying so hard and succeeds and getting a shoujo comic out of it. Where he's constantly really wanting them to just be girls. Why won't these boys be girls? He knows they've got it in them. Why don't they just go ahead and do it?
I know, right? I'm always asking that when a group of boys get together. Why don't they just do it already? I understand, Nozaki. I understand.
I don't think you understand what Nozaki's trying to do here.
He doesn't write those kind of shoujo manga.
Unless it's about dating sims. Then he has no choice but to.
Oh.
But to.
I also do like how Seiya is who actually provides the the solution to the umbrella scenario thing.
And run! When it was truly the most manly of...
Yeah, truly the most manly of actions.
By Seo, who just like, yes, just don't think about it. Just don't think about it.
Oh, Nozaki cursing his muscular body, and he can't be a skinny pretty.
That was a great moment. I forgot about that moment.
When he's trying to dress up, and he's like...
Curse these muscles.
He's not a skinny little Bishonen boy. He's a big Well, he's not like a bodybuilder, but he's tall and broad-shouldered. He's pretty ripped, you know.
He's manly. He's
a good
definitely
shape.
manly.
You know, he's a big manly man. You know, not the guy you think writes sappy romance comics.
But he's totally the guy who writes the
yeah,
sappy
he's
romance
totally
comics.
in his heart the guy who writes sappy romance comics. That therein lies the charm.
And all the... So yeah, Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. Once again, beating this into y'all. Crunchyroll, Sentai Filmworks. Watch this show. Watch this show. Buy my book. Watch this show.
If the manga becomes available, buy the book.
Cosplay this show.
There have been some pretty cool... Like, one person even brought her own crate.
Oh.
Like, she was authentically the shorter to his taller. Like,
Nice.
so she got her crate. It was... Oh, man, it was one of the best cosplay shots I've seen of... in general, but especially at that show. It was pretty par excellence. Alright, let's take one more break. We'll be back with Awesomes Out of Awesomes. This is the OSMcast.
お花畑だとか少女漫画だとかもなんだってどうだっていいそう今すぐ君に会いたい君に会って確かめてみたい世界の断り愛の定義幸せのカテゴリーまだまだ君を知りたいこんなセリフがなでもないけどどんなにかっこつけてたって始まりゃしない
And we're back. Awesomes out of awesomes. How awesome is this show? So awesome. Kevin, tell us how awesome Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun is awesome. 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 Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome zombies! Help!
Ostensibly.
Awesome.
Ostensibly awesome.
Awesome.
Two bunny ears on Nozaki's head of awesome.
I'm going to give it 12 months of awesome.
Cool. 12 months?
Yeah, 12 months.
Okay. Not 12 episodes?
No, 12 months.
There were 12 episodes.
Well, I'm giving it 12 months of awesome.
Well, what if you wanted it to be episodes?
But it's the monthly Nozaki-kun, so it's 12 months of awesome.
That also syncs well with 12 episodes that exist for it.
Well, that could work too. It has levels, Basil. It has levels.
Like an onion.
Yeah.
Much like Nozaki-kun.
That's
He
right.
just doesn't really have that many. He's no onion. He's pretty.
It's more like a grapefruit.
Yeah, I'll say grapefruit.
Rough skin, soft squishy inside.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably pretty juicy when you get right down to it. I was going to give it 2 polka dotted ribbons of awesome, but Kevin already went with 2 things.
Bunny
You've already
ears.
done 2. It's really one pair of bunny ears. Not really 2 bunny ears. It's a pair of one single bunny thing of bunny ears, but whatever. All right. That's fine. It's...
Well, 1 ear, 2 ear. It's
You could give it 6 ribbons.
I'm going to get infinite tanukis out of awesome.
I
Because
was
by God, don't you think that this could use some more tanukis?
No.
Don't
No.
you think
No.
that this could? Because my ideas are so great.
unless you're working on Pom Poko, you do not need more tanukis.
Well, folks, that is, again, Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. Find it on Crunchyroll. Sentai's going to release it one of these days. Possibly by the time you listen to this. Who knows? Well, this has been the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. I've been Basil.
I've been Kevin.
And I was Douglas.
And that was us. Still is us.
Because anytime you listen to this, there we are.
And we're still here for you at awesomecast.com. You can go to the website, check out the Index of Awesome, download, listen to some more episodes, tell your friends. Please, tell your friends. We could use some more friends. I'm not begging here. But I'm begging here. We could use some people. You can find us on Stitcher. You can plug us in the RSS feeder of your podcast catcher of choice. Please send us emails at awesomecast@gmail.com. You can leave us comments in the various comment sections we have on the website. You can follow us on all the social medias, AwesomeCast, Twitter, AwesomeCast, at AwesomeCast, Tumblr /AwesomeCast, Facebook /AwesomeCast.
Oh, my Final Fantasy XIV name has changed, so if they're looking to contact me in Final Fantasy XIV to join our free company,
On the Leviathan server.
You now need to contact Umito de la Lune.
Well, the important thing is there is a apostrophe between the umi and the toe.
Yeah.
Also, you can find me on Twitter at It's Basil Time. You can find Kevin on Twitter at Twitless_Kevin. You can also contact us via Twitter with your character name if you want to be added to the cool people in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm looking at you, Big PT. You can still join. We still want you there. It's all cool. In the school that Mother Girl Nozaki-kun takes place in. Go read the anime subtitles. We're out.
時々優